I got this opportunity to go travel and study abroad on a cruise ship for like 6 months. And my little sister and I were going to go, both addicted to drugs at this point. And it was almost like our saving grace because we were going to be at sea detoxing from drugs for, weeks at a time. And then we're going to go to different countries and go study whatever the fuck we're studying, right? And we were leaving on January 6th. And on December 30th, I decided it was a good idea to go out with my friends, say my goodbyes. I already left my jobs. And we went out to go partying. And it's December 30th. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I don't want to drive home. I don't want to get, stopped by the police. I can't get in trouble right now. And so my ex-boyfriend hit me up on, I think I posted something to my Instagram, like partying alone. And he was like, let me come pick you up. And I was like, no, I just want to go home. I don't want to hang out. And he's like, I'll just give you a ride. I'm like, all right, fine. You can give me a ride. So he picks me up from this bar and we're driving home, and he gets off the freeway. And I'm like, don't get off at this off ramp. Like, there's always cops at this off ramp. He's like, no, fuck you. Got off at the freeway. And we get pulled over by the police. And I'm sitting in the passenger seat and he gets arrested, taken out immediately, put in the back of the car. And I'm sitting there stressed out because I know there's drugs in the car. I don't know where. They're somewhere and they're going to be pinned to me and I'm supposed to leave for the country, right? So I'm texting my sister and I'm like, come pick me up from the Taco Bell, like off of Canaan. And so she wakes up my mom and she's on her way to go pick me up from the Taco Bell. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking at this wall next to me. There's this cop like in the driver's seat, like going through his fucking, like my homeboy's wallet. And he's looking at me and I'm looking at the door and he's like, don't do it. And I'm thinking to myself, like, can I scale this wall? Can I jump over this wall and run? And so finally I get enough courage. I'm like, fuck it. And I get out of the car and I'm trying to run across the street and the cop grabs me, detains me. I'm wiggling out and doing some fucking crazy Matrix moves. And I'm running across the street and it was almost as if I hit this invisible force field and I hit the floor. And I was like, what the fuck? And I get back up and he hit me again. And at this point, I'm on my back and I'm looking up at the stars and I can hear him shouting, get on your stomach, you little bitch, get on your fucking stomach. And so I'm like dazed and confused and I get it for the third time and he tackles me to the floor. He's got me on my stomach and my arms behind my back and he puts his knee behind my ear and he cracks it and he fractured my jaw in 3 places. He smashed it back here and fractured it right here. And I remember my mouth just like filling up with blood and I'm like spitting out blood and there's now more cops coming. And as I'm looking out towards the street, I see my mom and my sister drive by and there's cops all around me. And, they take me to the hospital and they have to surgically remove the tasers that were still inside me. And I got tased.
That's what happened.
Yeah, he hit me with a taser gun.
Okay.
So the ones that you can't rip out of your skin because they kind of like go in and fish hook.
Yeah.
So they had to take me to the hospital, surgically remove them out of my body. And they would not tell me what's wrong with my face, but I could feel it swelling up. I didn't know my face was broken. They were just making sure that I was okay to book. Like if they were taking drug tests, like alcohol tests, making sure that I was okay to be taken to the station. And they booked me for battery of a peace officer.
Wait, what?
Mm-hmm. They booked me for battery of a peace officer because they had literally nothing to book me for. I had no drugs. I had no weapons. I was intoxicated, but I wasn't that fucked up. But because his actions were so severe on like a little white girl like me, they needed to make his actions justifiable. So it was battery of a peace officer. So they booked me for that. I'm calling my mom in jail and I'm like, Mom, I need you to get me out. Something's wrong with my face. And she's like, no, you need to sit there and accept your consequences. You need to just chill. I'm like, no, dude, you don't understand. I need to go to the hospital. Something is wrong with my face. Like I can't talk and it's like swelling up and I can feel it like getting sore. My mom finally gets me out and I'm like white as a ghost. I don't remember any of this, but this is what she told me. She said I was white as a ghost. And when I had walked up to her, I collapsed in her arms. She took me to the emergency room, found out that my jaw was fractured and broken, like all, like this part was like fractured, like broken in multiple pieces, and this part was fractured. And so I woke up in the emergency room with my whole family around me, and we're like watching the fucking ball drop. It's now December 31st. We're watching the ball drop on TV, and they wheel me off into surgery. And I had to have immediate surgery right then and there because I had my jaw wired shut. And so I used that as poor me. My life is so hard. Why does this happen to me? And that kind of propelled my using. I didn't get to go travel abroad because I picked up a felony for battery and I also became physically unfit to travel. But I used that as leverage as poor me.